Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about how to take input from the user, how to use cin in C++. As I already told you that cin is the object of iStream class, and with the stream extraction operator, we can use cin to take input from the user. So today we will discuss how to take input from the user. We have already discussed about cout. So let's check how to take input from the user. So this is the basic setting, I did it already. So now let's say I declare a variable num1 of type integer. So here what is num1? Num1 is a variable of type integer. It means, what does it mean when I say num1 is a variable of type integer? It means num1 can store a value of integer type. Num1 can store an integer number. Now let's say instead of giving value, assigning the value to num1 here, what we want when we run our program, program should ask the value for num1 and we should be able to input it at the runtime, whatever is the value. So let's say I print cout, input the value for num1. So it means now this program will ask the value for num1 and how to access this value, how to take this input, and how to access this, how compiler access this value. Compiler access this values through cin. The cin is the object of iStream class and these two symbols are known as stream extraction operator. So when I write cin num1, it means whatever I will enter through the keyboard, that will go to, that value will go to the num1. So now let's print this num1 also, cout num1. So this statement will print the value of num1 and this will input the value of num1 at the runtime through keyboard. Num1 through keyboard. Now let's run this program. So now see, it is writing now enter the value, and whatever value I enter, for example through the keyboard I enter 6. Now this 6 will be stored to the num1 because what I did, I write here cin num1. Cin num1 means whatever I enter through the keyboard, that number will go to the num1. So now when we print num1, that will be 6. So I should write in line here. Okay. So this is how we use cin to input the variable. So let's say 5. Now num1 is 5. So that's why when I print this num1, it is giving us 5. Similarly, we can input floating type variable. Similarly, we can input floating point variables and character variables. Let's say I have another variable that is of type float, and same input the value for num2, cout, input the value for num2, and then we will input this how, at the runtime using keyboard num2 and then cout num2. So whenever I say in any program, whenever I say take input from the user, it means you have to take input using cin. So it is a float variable. So first we have to input num1 and num1 is an integer. So let's say num1 is 5. Now it will ask for, it will print num1 and then it will ask for num2. So let's say num2 is 3.6, then it will print num2. Similarly, we can input a character variable also. So let's do that also. Char var1 cout input the value of var1, then cin var1 and then cout, sorry, okay. Now let's run it. So first we have to input an integer, num1 is an integer, then num2 is a float, and then var1 is a character. So let's say 5, then 2.5 and then key. So this is how we can take input from the user. So this is about single variable. We can take two variable input also from the scene. First thing is that we can again write scene, but from the one scene also we can input more than one variable. Let's say here we have another variable num2, and I can write it, I can input both with the help of one scene, input the value of num1 and it should be num3 because num2 we have already here. We cannot take two variable with the same name, okay. So here num1, and again with stream extraction operator I can write another variable. So now num3. So now whatever value I will enter here first, that will go to the num1, whatever value I will enter second time, that will go to the num3. So let's run it. Enter the value of num1 and num3, but I think I didn't print this num3, just wait. So let's say even if I print num3 here before num1, num3 end line, now let's run it. Or do one more thing, it will be clear. Here we write num3 is equal to, so that at the run time we will be clear that which value is which one. Num1 is equal to, okay. So now let's run it. So enter the, let's say num1 2, and I can press enter also, I can go to the next line 2 and 3. So it means num1 is 2 because we input num1 first with scene, num1 is first. So whatever value we will enter first, that will go to num1, whatever value we will enter second, that will go to num3. Num3 is 3, num1 is 2. If I change it here, let's check it. If I change it here, let's say this is, just a minute, let's say this is num3 and this is num1. Now whatever value you will enter first, that will go to num3, and whatever value you will enter second, that will go to num1. So let's check it. So now let's say, so first one is num3, so num3 will be 2. Whatever is written here, that is just for printing purpose. That is not means that doesn't have any concern about that what compiler will take. Compiler will take according to scene. The variable you write first, the first value you will enter, go to that particular variable. So this is how we can take the input from the user. Similarly, you can take multiple scene for floating point number, multiple scene for character variable, and as a good programming practice, it is good to declare all the variable at the beginning of the program, like this, okay. So that whenever you want to check some variable, you know that where are all variable. You need not to search in the whole program. So it's a good programming practice to declare all the variable in the beginning of your program. So whenever you have to, for example, if you have to find the variable, you know that you will find all variables here. So make it as your practice that whenever you declare the variable, you should declare at the beginning of your program. So in the next video, we will discuss how to typecast, what is typecasting and how to typecast the variable. Thank you.